March is Colon Cancer Awareness Month, and here in Louisville, we are remembering the incredible work of Chef Anoush Shariat, who not only brought us unforgettable flavors, but also gave back in the biggest of ways in our community. We all know that. Colon cancer is one of the most preventable cancers with early screening. And in his honor, the Shine Your Light event on March the 1st will light up the 4th Street Bridge in blue. And then on March the 7th, the Bottoms Up Gala is going to bring people together to raise awareness for funds to fight against colon cancer. To tell us more about this, I have Paula Barmore, Anoush's wife here, and Dr. Whitney Jones, founder of the Colon Cancer Prevention Program. Thank you all so much for being here to talk about such an important event, what we need to know. But Paula, first of all, our condolences, because to hear that we're lighting up the bridge, you know, he lit up our lives with food, with joy, with so much love, and we are so sorry at Great Day Live. But thank you for sharing him with us and the community as long as you did.
Grateful that we had a lot more time than was expected, and he really lived life until the end, and he so wanted other people to not suffer as he did, and it's preventable. So partnering and being with Dr. Jones and the Colon Cancer Prevention Project, there are so many things that went wrong with not knowing a family history, with not getting a colonoscopy on time, and that I shouldn't be sitting here as a widow.
I think it was just almost a year ago, he was in our kitchen with you, cooking up a storm, right? Like you would not have known, right? Like I think that was what was so shocking when we heard the news. I'm like, what? Like he was just here. And there are so many things. What can we look at? You know, Paula brought up great points. You know, family history, colon cancer screenings. What are the things that we need to know to get ahead of something like this?
Well, colon cancer is the second most common cancer killer in the United States. And unfortunately, Kentucky's had huge rates of colon cancer for over 20 years. 20 years ago, we were #1 in the nation in deaths and cases. And unfortunately, we were 49th in screening. So finding polyps before they turn into cancer is the way we prevent colon cancer. And that's our biggest opportunity, is to prevent them, but also finding it early. One of the other issues is we have a really high rates of young colorectal cancer. So young people like Chad Bozeman, if everybody remembers, died in his early 40s, late 30s. Shocking. Well, that's not shocking anymore. About 20% of colorectal cancer happens in people under the age of 50. So knowing your first of all, knowing you're in a state that has that as a big issue, that's issue number one. Knowing your family history for polyps or colorectal cancer means you start screening at 40 or sooner. And then if you have any symptoms at all, rectal bleeding, change in bowel habits, weight loss, anemia, anything that's unexplained down there, don't assume it's nothing. Assume it's something and get checked. And for everybody else at age 45, that's the time you should start screening. Not start thinking about screening, but you got to start screening.
Can you, say you don't know family history, say you're not 50 yet, or 45 where you can start the screenings, can you ask your doctor for a screening of that?
Well, that's an interesting piece if you don't know your family history. I think the first thing I would tell everyone, if you don't know your family history, call your parents. Have that conversation. You know, cancer is unfortunately one of those things we don't talk about very much. Some communities don't talk about health at all. So start that conversation. But I think if you're in the situation where you're adopted and you're unsure, I think that's a discussion with your doctor about screening. They might not choose colonoscopy at 20 or 23, but they could certainly work with you on mitigating your risk and helping you work through it.
Or at least, like you mentioned, some really important signs, the things that are starting to go wrong, to not dismiss them. Even the smallest of things, that could be an indicator to your doctor. Something's out of the ordinary. Can we take a closer look? And people may dismiss those things, saying, oh, it's nothing.
Well, I think the first reason they dismiss them is they think of colon cancer as an old person's disease, and it's becoming not an old person's disease. And what we tend to see is a real delay in when someone seeks help from a doctor because they're unaware. They think it's hemorrhoids or IBS. I mean, how many folks have issues with their bowels?
They're just common things.
They're so common. But in this era and in this state, you know, you have to think differently. And so we want to reduce those delays from when a person recognizes it and goes to the doctor. And on the other side of that equation, we want the doctors who have a person that comes in with those symptoms to take them seriously because of what's going on in Kentucky and really across the nation. This will be the #1 cancer killer for adults under age 50 by 2030. unless we work harder and do something about that.
So frightening. March is Colon Cancer Awareness Month. You've got these two big events coming up. Let's begin with the bridge. March the 1st. What can we do to show our support at that event?
Well, first of all, Chef Dallas McGarity of the Fat Lamb,
Yes.
it was his idea to do this, and he sponsored that, which was an amazing in memory of Anoush. And so we are very blessed that he started this to shine the light on colon cancer and shine the light for Anoush. We're asking people to donate for a light bulb, symbolically, and also to, as Dr. Jones said, talk to your family, get screened, and come to the bash.
Right. And the bash is coming up on the 7th, the gala.
Yeah, I think this is going to be
Bottoms
our
up.
Bottoms Up Bash, right? This will be, I think, our 17th Bottoms Up Bash. And
Yeah.
it's held at the Olmsted. We have incredible food, incredible stories that'll be told and shared, a wonderful silent auction, and then big-time rock and roll music and bands to party the night away. So
Yeah.
we encourage everyone to come. We still have a few tickets left, so we encourage people to go to the Colon Cancer Prevention Project website.org and seek that out. Come out and work with us. Come out and help us to prevent cancer in Kentucky.
You brought a license plate. Not to let everybody know what car you're driving, but can you explain the significance of the license plate you brought and what it represents?
One of the
This is my car, everybody.
one of the
Look out for me on the road.
You know, you never know if you're behind someone when
Yeah.
you'll be talking about colon cancer.
Oh my goodness.
But at the end of the day,
bottoms up jokes for days over here.
believe it or not, we're the second state in the nation to have a license plate dedicated to colorectal cancer screening and prevention. These can be had either when you turn over your license, or you can go right now today and do it. And we have to get up to 500 of these to maintain this, so it's really important. I know there's a lot of people out there who've had colorectal cancer and families that this is your chance to shine the light. All the proceeds go to help people who don't have insurance or means to get screened in our colon cancer screening program, which is very unique. We're one of the few states to have developed it and be able to make sure that every person in Kentucky has access to screening and prevention for colon cancer.
Shine the light in so many ways coming up. Shine the light for Anoush, shine the light for this important prevention to get screened. And thank you both
Thank you.
for being
Thank you.
here today to talk about something so important. For more information, go to coloncancerpreventionproject.org.